Hey everybody, it's Daniel, rock climber, songwriter, engineer, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to modify your LinkedIn page if you want to get a job doing something you really want to do. Let's say you decide you really want to do something and you actually want to do that for a living. One strategy to find a job is LinkedIn, of course, and a really good one is to have a recruiter find your profile and go, that's my person for this job. So we're going to talk about today how you do that. One of my things I did was I wrote an app, I designed it, and then I coded it. I learned Swift, Apple's programming language, designed this app called Songchef. Maybe I could get a job as a software engineer again. I enjoyed it at one time. Maybe it's time to jump back in because I've climbed all the mountains I want to climb and I've done all the music tours. So I'm going to show you some tips, show you how I modified my LinkedIn page and actually got two recruiters to call me for jobs as a programmer that paid around $300,000. So I'm going to start by showing you how I've got it modified to look now. So I'm using my surname, not my Sky name. I've got it set to engineer UX designer. Of course, you need to pick a good title. Now you can have more than one thing in your title. If I'm also a speaker, I'm an author, so that's good stuff to add in there. Key thing here is open to. So you can set that to the kind of job you're looking for and set it to that only recruiters can see open to work. So only recruiters will see this. And what they'll see is the job title they're looking for and the location, remote. Now, what I did was first I do have a company to be on the App Store. I had to create a company, Songchef. I'm basically working for myself, but that's kind of a little transparent unless you click on the Songchef company. And if they click on that, when you create your company, and I'm going to show you how to create a vanity company if you want, or if you're in business, you have your own company, or if you work and design the product. Now, here's where I switch things up. I used to have my profile around my environmental testing business as a mold inspector, an electromagnetic field tester, indoor air quality tester, and I still own this business, Healthy Living Spaces. And it used to be my title was certified indoor environmental consultant, but now I'm looking for an iOS job. I can't be the mold inspector. If I am, it's not going to look as great. Chief Technology Officer. And I did write some apps and some software for the company while I worked there. So that's relevant and true. I'm also a speaker and consultant, of course. Now it's okay to have one hobby, one side hustle, or whatever you want to call it, but only one. Everything else has to be congruent. Recruiter looking through here, iOS, Songchef, technology officer, Motorola Wear. I was a software engineer and a process engineer. So I'm mixing those two a little bit, but I think that's okay. I got the calls. Now, I had to delete a lot of other stuff. Before I was a mold inspector, I was a handyman. I was in construction. I also worked in the laboratory. That stuff's not relevant. I also down here used to list all the books, publications for my environmental testing business. Deleted them. These two that I left, I think are okay, relevant. What you really want to put there are publications, books you wrote, books, publications, and such you are relevant to iOS. I should probably update that. So now I'm going to go over to a different profile and show you how to build yours up. This is my Daniel Isle Sky profile, which I haven't really done too much with, so it's a good one to work on. You see, I'm a singer-songwriter, still an author and a speaker. See how there's this blue and gray icon here? That's weak because that means it's a company that's actually not listed on LinkedIn. And it might be the company is, you just never realized that you need to make it look like a logo. Example on my one looking for iOS, I actually have a logo for the Songchef company. I have a logo for my company, Healthy Living Spaces. I made one for as a speaker consultant. You want to make these actual logos here. If the company you work for doesn't have one, add them to LinkedIn database. Motivational speaker here, we use this one. Edit it, company name. My company comes up on the other one, so I'm going to add that here. Now there's a logo. Now let's say singer-songwriter. and you want to actually make that a real company. What you can do, but since it's not going to show up here, what you do is you go under For Businesses and then scroll down to create a company page. We'll click company. I'm going to add the name Sky Island Studios. And then, of course, you'd put your website there and you choose the logo. I'm just going to pick the chef because even though I'm already using it, just for purposes of this, you would get a logo. Then you're going to click here. You can only add one company page per day. You say create page. You want to say 2 to 10 employees at least. Organization type, you're going to be self-employed. There to put privately held. You want to make yourself look bigger than you are. Create the page. Now we can go back to our profile. Go under here. Edits my singer-songwriter. Self-employed still. Now I'm going to be a freelancer. And now my company name is Sky Island Studios. Pick your company that just created, save it. Now see, we got a logo here. It looks better. Now look at your profile again, and you've got logos. It looks better. Now, when I switched to public speaking, more of just a keynote speaker, my coach was right, my speaking coach. You can only be one thing. So motivational speaker, singer, songwriter, that's okay. But everything else, if you like, well, I was a handyman, but only so much if it's relevant to what you're looking for a job for. After that, you've kind of got to make stuff up. If you worked at a company and you spoke there or trained people or did anything, for example, you would use that company name, legitimate company you worked for, and the dates. You would just give the relevant stuff you did here. Decide who you want to be. Unfortunately, you can only be one. People think if Leonardo da Vinci was alive today, his resume would look impressive. Fact is, he wouldn't have a job. LinkedIn recruiters would look and say, you got to pick who you want to be. Yeah, you can be a sculptor on the side, but you can't be a painter and a poet and an engineer. You want to get a job as an engineer, focus on everything you did as an engineer and mention sculpting, not painting, not poetry as well. It's not so much that that's bad, it's just distractive. And you want the focus to be on what you're trying to get a job for. To summarize, put your best stuff at the top, change the dates. I still work Healthy Living Spaces, still one of my companies. I don't want it to be at the top. Make the dates such that the big stuff you want to do, the designer shows up at the top. Now, the downside to creating your own companies is they're going to look and see, okay, who is this DS company? Doesn't have a lot of followers and not a whole lot of other stuff. It's going to look like it's your own company or really small. Small is okay. Just make sure it's not clear that it's your own company. And if it is, that's okay. But the recruiters are going to call you still. They're going to notice and call you as long as it looks like you have some other relevant experience. So to summarize, up here, put what you're looking for. Put the open to work back. That's not relevant, just delete. It's painful, but you got to do it. Make sure you have logos, create your own companies, make sure the dates are consistent so your top thing shows up at the top that you want to be at the top, and your hobby should show up at the bottom. So change the date even if you're still doing your hobby-like thing. Create your own companies if you need to. Once you decide who you want to be, what you want to do, that's a strategy, and you'll get some recruiters calling in. Good luck out there. Do what you want to do. Use LinkedIn to be who you want to be. I'm Daniel. See you next time.